Yo, what's up? This is Lady Zamar, and you guys are watching In Her Voice right here on BET, where I'll be telling you guys about my story in my voice. A song that takes me back would be Escape, Run to the Arms of the One Who Loves You. I literally fell in love with that song after watching it on, other TV stations. And I loved the message of the song, of how you could run to someone that you love. And I think that was the first time I really fell in love with the idea of singing about love. And I used to sing it to my first boyfriend. He thought I couldn't sing. But yeah, it was one of those songs. I sang it all the time over the phone, in his face, to everybody. I sang it at every single talent show. And there was a time I actually wanted to do like the cover of it. And people are like, nah, just let it go, So yeah, Run to the Arms of the One Who Loves You is always that jam for me. I know you're going, and I can make you stay. I can only let you know I love you anyway. The very first time I watched a live performance, I think it was about that movie Egypt. It was a soundtrack by Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston. And I loved how they were synchronized on stage, and I loved how they literally embodied the lyrics of that song. And I think it took another performance by Michael Jackson later on to then really solidify the fact that I wanted to be an engaging performer. I felt like there were so many people out there with great music and great voices, but not many of them could embody and really captivate audiences the way those performances sent out their message, You start realizing as a person that it takes a certain caliber of person, an artist, to really captivate audiences. And I wanted to be that captivating artist. I wanted to be a presence, someone who could stand on stage and no matter what was happening around me, I could command everyone to stop looking at them, stop concentrating on them, and just focus on me. When I think of Dreaming, I feel like lyrically it's amazing. When I think of Collide, it's a people song. It draws you in on its own. It's a force to be reckoned with. When I think of Love Is Blind, it really was the beginning, And then there's My Baby. But when I perform What You Need, there's a certain truth to that song that you can see, I can feel. When I'm in the zone of that particular song, I'm being as honest as I can ever be, Because the truth of the matter is, as much as we search for love and as much as we declare our love, what we always want, and which is so difficult to find, is someone who would actually love us the right way, the way that we want to be loved, not where you have to compromise and do things according to people's schedules and their temperaments and their moods, but where you really can say that, this is what I want. So that song really touches on how the desire to be loved the right way, So I feel like that is the one song where I have a lot of presence. Even when I was recording the song, I remember I was sick that day. I was in Cape Town. Cape Town's always cold whenever I go there. I feel like, yeah. But yeah, so it was cold and I had a tonsillitis infection. And even singing the song on the mic, I knew that if a song could come out that good and I was that sick, then there had to be some kind of power there. And for me, that would be that song.
So far we've agreed that what you have isn't working. Every time I look at you, I feel fire burning. I see your love fading away slowly. Everything you'd ever hope for looks impossible. And now your life has reached a place we all know it is no longer productive. And I cannot help but feel it's you or me. All the choices you made, all the chances you take. think what you need is someone to look you right. I think what you need is someone to look you right. I think what you need is someone to love you right. I think what you need is someone to love you right. You've been broken, got you in the cold, 'cause all your insides have you broken. You've been lost, laying by your bed at night. I think what you need is someone to love you right. I think what you need is someone to love you right. Stay with me, stay with me, stay with me, baby. Stay with me, stay with me, stay with me, baby. And you reach out and there's no one by your bedside. I see the tears running down. And you reach out and there's no one by your bedside. I see the tears running down, the tears running down. I think what you need is someone to love you right. I think what you need is someone to love you right. Stay with me, stay with me, stay with me, baby. Stay with me, stay with me, stay with me, baby.
When I first entered the music industry, I think it was 2014 when I got like the first glimpse into what it is like. But it was proper 2015 where I met people and I got invited to big shows and places where there were other artists. Now the problem was, I didn't know nobody. I've always been a bookworm, so if you asked me about an author, I knew who the authors were. But when it came to musicians, I had no idea, you know? I didn't even know that you had to know other musicians to qualify as a musician, which is something I found later on, where it was almost like a prerequisite. You had to know who's who in the zoo. But at that time, I didn't know nobody. So it was a difficult experience for me. And I wear contact lenses, so half the time I don't put them on. Actually, 9/10 of the time I don't put them on. So I wouldn't even recognize the people that I followed on Instagram or Twitter, you know? So a lot of people thought I was a very arrogant artist. They thought that I felt myself like I was all that. And some people actually kept their distance from me for a while until they finally realized that it's really not like that. You know, I'm just a person that was curious about everything. I wanted to know everything, but I didn't want to look like I don't know anything because I know so much about other things, you know? So I used to just, you know, pretend like I don't really care. Y'all can say whatever. But I got close to Lula Cafe. I think he's one of the biggest influences of my early career. He was so instrumental in helping me build the courage that I needed to face the industry. When I would complain about, I want to leave, he would ask me why, and we'd have these long discussions. At the end of the day, he'd always look bored. And that boredom just made me go, oh my gosh, I don't like boring people. And I'd investigate, why do I feel that way? I also remember Moby Dixon. Moby Dixon, I didn't know him, you know. as a reader, a person who loves novels, when you hear Moby Dixon, you know, you just think of the whale, right? And so obviously my image of him in my mind was nothing like what I saw. He was a decent person, he was so kind, and he really opened up my eyes to the business of the industry. You know, sometimes people don't have to sit and talk to you in large seminars and for you to realize that there's a lot you don't know about the business of the industry. So he mentioned a few things here and there, and I was curious and I investigated and I realized, oh my gosh, this is how it works. Another person who really influenced my musical career, especially in the early days, was a person I used to work with, Junior Taurus. I don't think he realizes how much he taught me about myself, about my abilities, about how to manage my brand. He really taught me a lot about the kind of music I need to be making, the people that I'll be performing for. And I don't think he realizes how much of what I am today is because of everything that I learned from him, directly and indirectly, you know? So I'm really grateful for those people in my life. So to Lulo Cafe, Moby Dixon, and Junior Taurus, and anyone else and everyone else who contributed on my journey and growth, I like to dedicate Love is Blind to you guys, because that song is not just about love, but it's about the passion of doing what you really, really love in terms of work. So yeah.
Heaven's independent.
when I started out to 2014-15, I remember there were a lot of Pretoria producers that I started out with, a lot of them. Just to name a few from the top of my head, DJ 40, Divine Brothers, DJ Vitoto, obviously Junior Torres, and Snow Deep. There was so many, Calvin Fallow, Louis Lunch. And then there were the vocalists that I was, working with at the time. There was Dindi, there was Tepi. And the people I didn't know were people like Benchmark, Fifi Cooper. I remember MT had just come into the industry at that time as well, and Casper as well. And it's crazy how we've all kind of gone certain directions. Other people have kind of moved backwards in terms of into the background and become more producers as opposed to being artists. Other people have blown up like crazy. But the thing that really always takes me aback is how we can never, ever define ourselves by anyone else around us. We have our own specific journeys and we have our times, And the people I've mentioned are immensely talented. People that I have looked up to, I have admired, and I still do. And I just want everyone who's listening and watching to know that don't ever look at people and think that this is where they're gonna end up. You have no idea. I mean, we all started out as guppies, and we've all gone into different directions. Some people have become giants in whatever fields they have ventured into. Other people have made such big changes in their lives. Other people have influenced other people, So I just want to shout out to those people because in a way, if it hadn't been for those people in my life, those almost role models, like personalized role models, I don't think I'd be where I am today, You learn a lot from everybody, especially if you take the attitude of education as your personal outlook on life. You really start to see people as case studies, places you can learn, And I have grown to respect each and every one of these artists. I've grown to respect their journeys. And I know that you can never, ever, ever, ever predict where it's gonna end up. It's You Dreaming is a song about dreams. It's about realizing your full potential before you even get there. It's a song that reminds me of where I started in terms of how much it used to hurt me thinking about what I wanted. And I feel like I haven't even arrived yet. And to everyone out there who feels that way, and to everyone I've mentioned as well, who feels that there's still a long way to go, no matter where you are right now, this song is dedicated to you.
I can't go on no more. These dreams have me tossing nose. I'm somewhere I don't want to be no more. I don't wanna be alone. Time has shown no remorse. I need a change, I'm drowning, Angels be near, this fight is lost. Please end it, I need you to end it. Come to me, say to me that you're my peace. You'll fight for me, your empty words bring me no peace. Please end it, I need you to end it. I'm dreaming, daydreaming. So wrong that I am alone.
Lady Zamar, the lover. There was the pre-Lady Zamar. And that was an interesting time for me. That was a time where I had these fantasies of what love was. And I would want it to resemble the books that I read, Mills and Boone and all that. And I wanted to have the passion and all that. So I'd always leave these relationships because I was like, you're not giving me what I want, you know? If there was no spark, I would be out. If there was no drama, I'd be out. If there was not anything interesting, I'd be out, you know? But then the fame came and the status changed and respect, people respect you different. People also take many more chances, you know? So you become more cautious. I was so free before, you know? I give anybody a chance who was genuine, and if I was single, you know, I'll listen to what you have to say. Now, you're more cautious. When someone says, I like you, you're like, what do you like? When someone says, I want your number, you ask them what for. You know, every single time anyone smiles at you, it's like, you know. But I have learned, especially in my relationship, to be patient. It's still conflict with the real me, you know, the real inside me, the free bird. But I've learned to be very patient. I've learned to be accepting of the little time that I do get. I have learned to be more open-minded to what a conventional relationship is, even though my brain protests every day to that. But I think it becomes harder to be in a relationship when you're in the limelight because people want to know so much about it, as though they have any part to contribute. So yeah, man, it's harder now to stay in love, to be in love, to find love. It was easier back then, you know? Now it's just like, oh, okay. You know, and you no longer look at things as that are fleeting. You now look at the substance of a person because, I mean, truth be told, you ain't looking for another you. You're looking for an equal. You're looking for someone who will complement you in as many ways as possible, you know? I still have to say, though, it conflicts with the inner me, the fairy, you know, the unicorn. But hey, what can we say? We take what life gives us. And right now, life is giving me a complicated life. I love it, though. And I dedicate this to all the lovers out there. Fight for your right to be loved right.
Lady Zamar. I would open you up, get in your heart. I know you'll be my baby. You're in my dreams, you're in my mind. I know you'll be my baby. You know what you got, you're in my soul. I know you'll be my baby. It is my hope we'll never part. I hope you stay my baby. So lean on me. So lean on me. So say you'll win my heart. You say you are my baby. You've seen the way I've come around. I heard you know my baby. I've never been so deep, you see, the way I love my baby. You are my dreams, you're in my scenes. I know you are my baby.
Exclusive from NigerExtra.com.
I'll hold you down. I'll hold you down, 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 down. I'll hold you down. I'll keep you warm. I'll hold you down. Hold down, down, down. I'll hold you down. I'll keep you warm. I'll hold you down, 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 down. I'll hold you down. I'll keep you warm. I'll hold you down, down. I've seen the way you look at me. I know you've been my baby. Manali, see, you're in my heart. I know you know my baby. Don't lose it, I know. I see you there. I know you see my baby. Play master, just play those keys. I know you see my baby. So lean on me. So lean on me. So lean on me. So
Exclusive from NigerExtra.com.
So, what now? Outside of all the music, all the fame, the accolades, the parties, I have decided to travel more. I've always been a nomad of sort, you know, a wanderer, and the fame has kind of made me settle down and not travel as much as I want to travel. I used to go wherever I wanted, wherever I wanted, you know. I think that contributed a lot to the music that I make. Lately, I feel like I've just been bottled in this country, bottled in the traveling. And I know it's very early on, and from the people's reports that I've heard that have traveled the world as musicians, they say that it actually gets busier and busier. So outside of all of that, I really just want to travel the world more. I want to go to Spain. I want to go to France. I want to go to Italy. I want to go and visit San Francisco. You know, I need to see if that bridge is actually still intact. So many times in movies, something has destroyed it, you know, so I need to just see that red bridge. I just want to go to Canada. I want to go to Australia. And all of these places I want to go to learn more about culture, to learn more about people, to see what's out there, you know? To not get closed in with the ideas of what we think the world is, you know? We're always talking about Africa to the world, but do we really understand what we're taking to the world? I'm a writer as well, so hopefully I'll get to collect more stories and more experiences that I'll get to put in my books. So living a full life, man. I don't want to close myself in anymore and feel like I cannot explore and I cannot live more and live large. I'm done with restaurants. I think I've eaten everything in the world except snails and oysters and all those other things. But other than that, like, the world is such a big place and there's so much to see. And you would be shortchanging yourself as a human being if you didn't travel as much of it as possible before you die. And with Collide comes the journey, the highways, the ups and downs. And to all the wanderers out there, I dedicate this song to you guys.
Crazy, it must be love. Should I hold on the past? Will you let me crash? Should I hold on the past? Will you let me crash? Should I hold on the past? Will you let me crash? Should I hold on the past? Will you let me crash? You are a citizen, a resident in my heart. You are a citizen. A resident in my heart. You are a citizen. A resident in my heart. You are a citizen. A resident in my heart. Traveling light, I don't know how to do it. Traveling small, I can't see myself through it. Going to places with you, I know I will be alright. I come to you, going at 120. Teacups, they stop and say, hey, is there a place you gotta go? And we will collide, and we will collide.
So we've come to the end of the show, and you guys have been watching In Her Voice with me, Lady Zamar, in my voice. You feel me?